In order to be successful, you have to find out what makes you excited, what makes you want to get up each morning and go to work. You have to find it.
As you continue to develop your talents and to make your mark upon the world, remember that nothing worth doing is ever easy. You'll have bad moments. You gotta love what you're doing. And if you don't, just do something else. You know, I went to a great school. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. And in that school, I met a lot of people heading industry today and over the past, very smart people. But I've watched some of the people grow. I've watched some of the most incredible, brilliant students. And they didn't make it like other people made it because they didn't have that drive. They didn't have that never give up ability. I don't know if it's an ability or if you have it, just you can't quit. And I've seen people quitting. And if they would have held out longer, they would have been successful. I've seen it so much. I've seen some of the most brilliant people in the world that never made it because they were quitters.
If you love what you do and dedicate yourself to your work, then you will gain that momentum. And each success will create another success. In life, I always tell this to people, you have to know whether or not you continue to have the momentum. And if you don't have it, that's because you're going to go on, and you're going to learn, and you're going to do things that are great. But you have to know about the word momentum. But the big thing, never quit, never give up, do something you love. When you do something you love, you'll never quit. You're going to give it a shot again, and again, and again. You're ultimately going to be successful. And remember this, you're not working. Because when you're doing something that you love, like I do, it's not work.
One of the things about loving what you do is that it's not work, and therefore you don't quit automatically. It's a lot easier not to quit. You can never give up. You can't necessarily say, I'm never giving up. You gotta be able to leap and bob. You don't have to go through a concrete wall when you can go over it or around it or under it or something. You have to have flexibility. You have to always be able to change course a little bit. Maybe always with that same goal, but don't quit. You have to go around and say, what's a good industry? Because I know people that love things, but they're behind the eight ball because they're going into something that's not a good industry. So if you can find something else, because there are industries that are so great, and there are places that are heading in the wrong direction, and things. You want to try and be in that upslope if you can find your passion there. If you can't, still stick with it. You have to stick with it.
My father was a worker. He loved to work, and he was happy. He was a happy man. He loved to work. He'd work on Saturdays. He'd work on Sundays. He just liked it. He'd go to church, but after church, he'd go and work. He'd go check a building that he was putting up in Brooklyn. You know, he was mostly in Brooklyn and Queens. He just loved it, and I think more than anything else, not because of what he taught me lots of different things, but I watched him be a happy man and work until he was like literally 93. He was 93 years old when he died. And I said to myself, that's a pretty good formula, because I have a lot of friends that take vacations for 6 weeks and 8 weeks and 3 months, and they're never happy. Recently, somebody asked me the definition of entrepreneur. Now, it means a lot of different things. You have to have an idea, you have to never quit, you have to do a lot of different things. But something I've added over the course of the last few years, you have to be able to withstand pressure. I know a lot of people that are very smart, that have great ideas, everything's good, but they can't handle pressure. And if you can't handle pressure, you cannot be a great entrepreneur.
Nothing worth doing ever came easy. You must be willing to face criticism from those who lack the same courage to do what is right, and they know what is right, but they don't have the courage or the guts or the stamina to take it and to do it. It's called the road less traveled. Now you must go forth into the world and turn your hopes and dreams into action.